Previously, on All That Glitters.
What if we should back off? What if we're putting ourselves in danger by digging?
I'd rather die digging than live knowing the truth is out there that I could have uncovered.
You would die for this?
Well, I didn't say I want to, but I'm not going to let someone like William Fay stop me.
It turned out that I did need some rest. On day 3, it came crashing back into us in the shape of Jordan Baker.
We're always trying to find different celebrities to help the kids search out new career paths or achievement goals.
Name the time and place.
I would just love to hear if the elusive Jordan Baker has ever had her heart stolen away.
I have. He died in the war.
We knew that we needed to do a thorough sweep of Gatsby's lawns, and the house itself if we thought it might stir up any leads, in the daylight without the prying eyes of Detective Amory. I was circling the pool when I heard Nick shout, and he had found it. Underneath years of regrowth, with the thin branch of a tall bush pierced through one of the holes, was a faded gold button. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, through Sherlock Holmes, said, "It has long been an axiom of mine that the little things are infinitely the most important." This button was little, and it was infinitely important. Unfortunately for me, since my brain was rattling with a million scenarios of how it could have gotten there and from whom, he also said it is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. I leaned in close to see exactly what we were looking at. It matched what I could glean from the photograph tucked in George's shirt sleeve, 6 angled sides. I ran into the house and tried every phone to see if one would dial, but nothing came through. So I jumped into the car and drove to the nearest payphone in order to make a call.
Detective Amory? Jennifer Jones. We have something that you really need to see out at the Gatsby mansion. Oh, yes, I know that... Yes, I know you said that... Oh, but I thought... Oh, yes, I know, but Detective Amory, listen to me, please. I really just need you to do what you can to come down here and see what we found. Yes, we will wait here. Yes, Nick is with me. Okay, thank you. We'll see you when you get here.
I drove back to Gatsby's house. It felt a little strange to still be calling it that because Gatsby had been dead for 3 years, and drove into the driveway that Nick was pacing back and forth across. He looked up when I pulled in and ran to the driver's window to ask if I had reached the detective. We waited, rather impatiently, for Detective Amory to drive each of the long miles from New York City to West Egg. He wasn't happy with me on the phone, having expected that when I stormed out of the precinct more than 2 weeks ago that I would be done with the investigation for good. I don't understand why he would have had that thought since I explicitly told him that I would not stop digging, but it was what it was and I would have to figure out how to deal with his anger when he got there. And boy, was he angry when he got there.
Do you have any idea what you're doing, digging around in a mess that isn't yours to dig through?
Hello, Blaine. Good to see you, too.
I don't need that attitude from you, Miss Jones. Tampering with a crime scene is a serious offense. And you're lucky that you're working with me and not one of the other officers.
First of all, sir, this isn't a crime scene. According to you, it's just a rundown house of someone who died by a totally normal murder-suicide.
Just because a case is closed doesn't mean this isn't the scene of a murder. Let me see what you found.
Right over here.
Jesus Christ.
Right? I told you it was important. This with the picture, and you have to admit there's proof here that it was a murder.
You gotta be careful telling me that it has to be anything other than a button found at a house that had a party after party of people wearing every kind of button you could imagine, and not being too careful with their clothes.
But with the picture...
The picture proves nothing. George could have rolled around in the grass and gotten this caught up in his cuff for all we know. And tell me how the two of you just happened to find this. Who's gonna trust this as a legitimate piece of evidence?
What if someone had bought this house, lived here for years, and one day decided to pull up the bushes? They find it and just throw it away. What then?
Then it never gets found and we never have to reopen this case?
So you admit that the case has to be reopened?
Reopening this case is the very last thing I want to do.
But
I have to.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you so much. You have no idea what this means to us.
Oh, I think I know. But if we're going to do this, I'm going to have to set some ground rules.
Of course.
You say that, but I'm not sure you know what rules are.
Listen, I know what rules are when I feel like things are happening the right way. It's when nobody else actually cares that I start to get creative.
All right. Well, get ready for a lot of people to care very much. Digging this all back out into the open isn't something that I think you're going to really be prepared for. I want to keep it out of the media as long as possible.
Well, I'm not going to call my bosses if that's what you're worried about.
I wasn't until you mentioned it.
I'll keep quiet. Nick will too. It'll just be on you to make sure the media stays off of us.
We're going to have to call in all of the original interviewees, revisit some conversations in a bit more detail.
Oh, I should tell you that I am currently working with Jordan Baker on a personality piece for the Tribune. I'm sorry, but you weren't doing anything, and I had to try to get people in whatever way I could.
You certainly have tenacity, Miss Jones.
I'm proud of that.
I have to caution you, Nick. You'll be treated as any other witnesses in this new chapter of the investigation.
I understand. I'm happy to answer any questions you all have for me. Whatever you need, I'll be cooperative.
I alerted a team to come photograph and collect this evidence. You're lucky that the greenery's grown in new all around it, or it would be bordering on unadmissible. But they'll be here in a matter of minutes, and I would advise the two of you to head back to the city before they get here.
Heard and understood.
Please, let things happen behind the scenes for a couple of days and wait for my call. I promise I'm going to do what I can, but I need you to be patient in the meantime and let me do it my way.
When you say a couple of days, do you mean a week or less or more?
It's impossible to say right now.
What's the most likely course of action?
Most likely, I'll go to my boss and he'll laugh me out of his office. After about an hour or so, he'll calm down and come to have a heart-to-heart with me about how serious this is to take on. I'll tell him I understand and I'm prepared for the fallout of ruffled feathers. We'll talk about the ramifications of reopening a case like this. He'll ask me how important it is to me personally that this happens.
What'll you say?
I'll tell him I didn't think it was a clear-cut case 3 years ago, and the evidence newly uncovered has made me even more certain. I'll tell him that I feel personally responsible for a murderer walking the streets for 3 years unpunished. And I'll tell him I'll stake my career on the case. If I don't find the person that killed Jay Gatsby, I'll retire from the New York City Police Force on the spot.
You'd do that?
In a heartbeat.
I thought you didn't...
Miss Jones, you've pushed and pushed these past few weeks into something that had been giving me nightmares for 3 years. I've drunk myself to sleep more nights than not to push out the guilt of a case that closed too soon.
But you never said...
How could I? The lighter. What you brought to me before. It was something. But not enough to convince anyone else to take this seriously. But you weren't the first person to think that this wasn't a simple case. I've known since the beginning. And do you know how impossible it is to know that everyone sitting in front of you is lying to you, but you can't do a damn thing? Pardon my vulgarity.
Well, I've been pretty damn upset myself, thinking that you didn't care at all.
I couldn't very well tell you all of that, could I? But I thought sneaking you into the precinct to feed you evidence would have been enough proof that I believed you and was taking you seriously, and cared enough to stake my job on it.
I didn't think... I guess when you put it that way, thank you.
Thank you for not letting me get away with mediocrity. I can't promise answers, and I definitely can't promise that this is going to turn out the way you want it to, but I can promise that I'll push harder this time.
Just working on it in an official capacity will be a step forward.
All right. The text will be here soon. I think you should both head out now. Wait for my call.
I will.
Miss Jones. Jennifer. Thank you. You're a pain in my ass, but thank you.
I'll look forward to your call.
I was buzzing the entire ride home, but Nick was in shock. I kept prodding him as he sat there quietly, hands gripping the steering wheel and eyes focused straight ahead. When I took a step back, I couldn't imagine having to recall all the worst moments of my life while being grilled by cops who were trying to catch me out in any bit of a lie. When we got back to the hotel room later on, though, I didn't let him avoid the questions any longer.
Maybe we should just let it all go. What if it's nothing?
You came to me with this, Nick. This pursuit is yours. Why now, when it's finally picking up steam and legitimacy, are you so determined to blow the whole thing up just to avoid talking to the police again?
You heard the detective. Thousands of people were at Gatsby's house every single weekend. Do you think none of them left a lighter behind? Do you think none of them had a button pop during a dance or when they were sneaking away in the bushes to cheat on their husbands or
I
wives?
can't believe this.
I just don't know why we keep pushing it.
Is this about what William said to you? Are you afraid of him?
I'm afraid that we're gonna piss off a murderer, yeah. And I think that's a pretty fair thing to be afraid of.
We finally have the police behind us, and you're gonna back down now?
I'm not backing down. I'm just...
Really? Because it sounds like you're backing down.
Jenny, what if this is bigger than us?
How incredible would it be if we solved something bigger than ourselves?
Or we die trying.
Dying for something worthwhile sounds a hell of a lot better than living behind the shadow of our fears.
I'm not.
It's okay to be afraid, but it's not okay to quit because you are.
What happens when they sit me down in the interrogation room and they ask me how I felt about him? What happens when I can't gloss over it?
Nick, is that what this is about? You're afraid they're gonna sit you down and force you to confess how much you loved him?
That's what they'll do. And maybe not directly, but they'll dig and prod and poke into why I care so much about this case. They'll ask me why I was there the entire night into the morning when I was already late to work. They'll ask me why I was distracted all day and couldn't wait to make it back home to see him, check in on him, know that he was all right. They'll ask me why I was the first person to find him when he had a whole staff of people at his house who should have done it earlier. They'll ask me why, 3 years later, I couldn't just leave it alone and had to go back to dig around some more. They'll ask to read my story. They'll ask me why I dragged you into it. What could have been so important to take a woman on a legitimate career path and stray her so far outside the law just to suit my whims? Without really asking, they will ask me over and over if I loved him.
And what'll you say?
I'll have to say yes. And what then?
You don't have to. Or you can, but qualify it.
Ah, yes, I platonically loved my friend so much that I am dedicated to ruining my life to avenge his murder 3 years after the case has been closed.
Do you love me?
Madly.
I mean it. Do you love me?
I do. I would spend 3 years of my life avenging your murder too.
Do you want to marry me?
No, ma'am.
So what's the difference? You go in there, you tell your story, and then you tell them you love Jay Gatsby madly, deeply, to the point you would die for him.
It still feels like a lie, doesn't it?
Will it help solve this murder case?
I would hope so.
Then what's the harm?
I don't know why I thought the two of us could just solve this together on our own. I thought we could live in our own little bubble of crime-solving partners and take the truth home with us.
A nice dream, huh?
Yeah.
Let's breathe, let them do their work, and see where it takes us.
I know. Yes, I know, and you're right. I can make this work.
Hey, I love you. You are the most important person to me in the world. I don't think I've ever told you that, and I know I haven't been there for you the best I could be in the past couple of years.
No.
No, it's true. I've been so preoccupied with my own work, trying to climb my way up a ladder I never should have been on in the first place. You were in a goddamn war, for Christ's sake. I let a lot of things slip, but I'm really glad you came back into my life and reminded me what's so important.
I love you. You'll always be my number one plot driver.
Whatever I can do to keep the story moving.
But the story did stop moving for an entire 10 days. Detective Amory told us that it might be a bit of time before he could get the rest of the department on board, but nothing could have prepared me for how isolating and excruciating that wait was. To make things worse, Jordan was called up as an alternate to a tournament for the week, so I wasn't able to busy myself with the Tribune story on her. She called me, flushed, apologizing profusely for not being able to follow through on the photo shoot on the date we had planned, but promised that we would be able to find a time once she was back from this competition. I found myself actually missing the chance to work on something productive. I also found myself missing her, in a friendly sort of way. To pass the time, I started spending my afternoons at the New York Public Library, looking up old murder investigations. I thought that if I could read through old case files and see how they progressed, I could maybe understand the questions that they were going to ask, and I could keep myself one step ahead of Detective Amory. I had gotten enough information from most of the parties involved that I thought I understood them a little better than I had before, but I still didn't have any answers. If Detective Amory started asking questions, legitimate questions, then maybe someone would slip up and they'd be caught in a 3-year lie that they couldn't even remember their original excuse for. On the 11th day, the phone finally rang.
Detective Amory! Yes! Thank you for calling. We have been absolutely pacing the floors. I see. Yes, I can be there in an hour. Yes. Can I bring my equipment as well? If you let... No, I know that, but what if we just had them as backup? Thank you. Okay, see you soon.
I rushed over to the precinct and had a moment of panic as I walked into the interrogation room to a new face sitting beside Detective Amory. For a second, I thought that I might have gotten myself in real trouble somehow, and this case was turning back around against me.
Miss Jones, this is Detective Barban. He's the lead department detective.
Nice to meet you, sir.
I hear you're responsible for digging up evidence on a 3-year-old case.
Yes, sir?
You know, this throws our whole department off its rhythm, don't you?
I would think that the pursuit of justice would be enough to make that all worth it, wouldn't you?
The pursuit of justice is, of course, our ultimate goal.
Well, then you should be celebrating my efforts, no?
Interesting perspective.
I think we should get to the reason we called Miss Jones in today.
Yes, I suppose we should.
We've set up a list of interview suspects from 22 and would like to be briefed on any possible interference your own investigation may have caused.
Who's on your list?
Tom and Daisy Buchanan, Jordan Baker, Catherine Raycroft, Nick Carraway. We were hoping to track down the chauffeur and the butler, who were the two that found Mr. Gatsby's body along with Mr. Carraway, but so far we haven't been able to.
Well, Nick will help if he can. If you need him to identify mugshots or anything to see if they've been through your system. From what I understand, Jay changed out his entire house staff when he started the affair with Daisy so they could remain more discreet.
We would appreciate that, thank you.
You should add William Fay onto your suspect list as well.
Who?
Daisy Buchanan's father. I have reason to suspect that he was involved in this case.
And what reason would that be?
Well, when I went down to visit Daisy...
What?
She's Nick's cousin. It was a completely warranted visit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Listen, I had to push forward on my own.
It's exactly the kind of go-getter attitude, which is why we called you in today. You've got information, but we need to assess whether any of that will be permissible in this case, based on your methods of collecting it. Depending on what you've done and who you've pissed off, you may have all killed this case before it even started moving again.
Conversations. All of my methods have simply been having conversations that I'm fully entitled to have. If someone has let something slip or indicated their guilt, that's no fault of mine. Everything has been recorded. You can hear that my methods haven't been at all devious.
This recording is part of the problem. Did you let everyone know as soon as you turned on your reel there?
Well, no, not exactly, but I mean,
Unbelievable.
It's big. It's not... I was just getting to know them so that I could put the pieces together on my own.
If someone has given a piece of a puzzle that incriminates them, Miss Jones, I doubt that they'll be lenient with the fact that you put that piece into another on your own. We have to be incredibly careful where we tread from here. You mustn't relay any information you've received on your reels to me or Detective Amory.
But if it's helpful
If we're operating under secretly recorded testimony, the entire case might be thrown out of court. From now on, you talk to no one, and you say nothing besides to offer the physical evidence you have, which, I might add, is also in jeopardy of being thrown out of the sheer reason of it being a witness in the case who supposedly found it at the crime scene.
Please, Detective Barban, if it weren't for all of that, we wouldn't even be here. Now, what I've learned off tape and from this evidence is that there is a case to be investigated. It's your job to get everyone here and learn the rest.
Thank you for explaining my job to me, Miss Jones.
May I just ask, just circling back to before, what William Fay might have to do with things?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say now.
Just the basics. Nothing that he has explicitly said to you.
Well, the basics are that he's Daisy's father and would do anything to avoid a scandal on his family name. He's an excellent shot, and he wasn't at home on September 5th, 1922. We don't know where he was, but just it would have been possible for him to have been here waiting to carry out a couple murders.
That's a lot of speculation.
Can you see if you can get hotel records or anything from that weekend from around town? You don't even have to call him in until you've got something. His wife said that he was...
No.
I'm just saying that if he was in New York without her knowing, that's already a discrepancy. And she gave permission to be recorded, so that should be fine.
Yeah, we can have some men work on pulling hotel records, but that's the most we'll be able to do on that one.
Thank you.
There was another thing Detective Barban would like to ask you.
Oh?
I'm not sure anymore. I may have changed my mind based on her attitude.
Wow.
She's a benefit, I promise, despite the rough exterior.
Oh, wow. Thank you for detecting that about me.
We'd like you to sit in on these interrogations. Outside the room, of course. It's unorthodox, but we can't deny it'd be an asset to have your recent and intimate knowledge of the folks we're bringing in.
After all of that, putting my entire process down and you actually want me to help you?
I knew it was a poor idea.
No, it was an excellent idea. You'd be lucky to have me, and I'd be happy to help. But what was all that prelude for? Just to put me down before allowing me to feel useful?
Your methods have put this case in jeopardy.
But you need them. And you need me.
Yes.
Well, okay then. When do we start?
Tom Buchanan's outside.
Well, let's get to work.
State your name for the recording.
Tom Buchanan.
Mr. Buchanan, we've called you in today to discuss the deaths of a Mr. James Gatz, known familiarly as Jay Gatsby, and a Mr. George Wilson, in conjunction with the death of a Mrs. Myrtle Wilson. You were interviewed on September 9th, 1922. A summary of your interview indicates that you left East Egg for New York City early in the morning of September 5th. That you had, quote, business to attend to, end quote. That you and your wife were not together for the entirety of that day, and that you declined to answer any questions on the nature of your affair with Myrtle Wilson. Does that accurately represent the line of questioning as you remember it?
I try not to remember nonsense.
Mr. Buchanan, your cooperation will be appreciated, but it's not necessary. The matter of Mr. Gatz and Mr. Wilson's death has been reopened as an active murder investigation.
What now?
New evidence has been brought to our attention that could indicate at least one other person present at the Gatsby estate on September 5th, when both men in question were shot and killed.
What kind of evidence?
Do you recognize this?
I want a lawyer.
All That Glitters is written, produced, and edited by me, Steph Crugnola, inspired by The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This episode features Pablo Muñoz-Evers as Nick, Mike Crugnola as Detective Amory, Sibonelo Shezi as Detective Barban, Brian Hensley as Tom. Music by Josh Kavanaugh.